Hey up again, everybody. This is going to be the second tier list that I do. I did one recently on David Cronenberg films, and it went down pretty well. So I thought I'd give another one a go. And in this one, I'm wanting to take a look at John Carpenter's filmography. You may notice from the little list of films here some that you may think are missing. Those are probably the two ones from Masters of Horror. So I can quickly tell you what I think to those. Pro-Life is a bit messy and boring, and Cigarette Burns is pretty damn good. Norman Reedus can't really act very well in it though, but it's got a great premise and a nice payoff. That's it. They're just a little too short, I think. We are going to be talking about some TV movies in this though, and some ones like we've got Someone's Watching Me and Elvis, but also Body Bags as well, which I know John Carpenter only directed a segment of that, but he is also kind of the main character in it as well. So I thought I'd mention that, because why not? Why not? I have things to say about it. I've decided as well, so they were just sort of automatically, for the Cronenberg one, they were just automatically in alphabetical order. I've put them in release order so that I can go through them chronologically with you all. I thought that might be a nicer way of doing it, really, than just randomly going alphabetical. So, let's kick things off, shall we? So we are starting with Dark Star. Now, so I'm currently at the moment taking a look at Return of the Living Dead, which is Dan O'Bannon. So Dan O'Bannon wrote and stars in Dark Star. It's kind of a student film. I like the idea. I like that it feels like they know the limitations. The whole thing is set in space, on a spaceship, a little Red Dwarf-esque, I guess. And I think the limitations that they set themselves there lean well into the story and some of the comedy. I think the issue lies in the second half of this film, and the fact that this could have made quite a nice 35 to 40 minute short film, but instead they stretched it out to be a feature length. And because of that, I'm going to put it in D. There's some stuff to like in it. It is very amateur, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not quite as good. And it's one that I don't really see myself revisiting as far as John Carpenter's films go. After that, he went on to do Assault in Precinct 13, on Precinct 13. I always say in. And most people usually say in, because it just sounds better. But no, Assault on Precinct 13. I've heard this one referred to as a zombie film without zombies. And yeah, I can completely see that, honestly. It definitely has that sort of feel to it. It definitely has like a sort of zombie invasion feel, where everybody's, like the gangs are sort of swarming outside, and it's sort of a defence film, I guess. The police and the people inside the precinct are defending the precinct against an outside threat. And again, one location, makes use of it really well. It's concise, it's fun. I really like Assault on Precinct 13. I think he's got much better films that we'll be talking about later, but I like Assault on Precinct 13, so I'm going to put it in B. By the way, there might be some quite controversial opinions coming up in this, but they are just my opinions, and it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, does it? But I think I have a few that people might be a little shocked by coming up. So let's carry on, shall we? Halloween. So when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I went to a friend's house for a sleepover, and I was shown Halloween on VHS, and it was the first proper horror film that I had ever seen. First slash I'd ever seen, the first real adult horror film that I'd ever watched. I know a lot of people around my age usually say something like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. For me, it was Halloween, and I had to walk back from my friend's house on my own at night down a channel, and I remember being relatively terrified that somebody was following me and stalking me. I love Halloween. I love the first Halloween, and some of the sequels I'm a big fan of as well. This first one, though, is just a genuinely good, slow burner, scary horror film, and it's gotta go in S. It's the first S from me. It's definitely Carpenter's first major success and the thing that kind of put him on the map, really. Next up, we have Someone's Watching Me, which is kind of like Halloween Light a little bit, I guess. You can see he was coming off of it. Although, no, saying that, sorry, I think it came out after Halloween, but it was made before Halloween. And it kind of feels like the blueprints to Halloween. Because of the release order, I'd forgotten that it had actually come first. But yeah, it had come first. And it's good. It shows Carpenter playing with suspense. And it's got the vibe of Halloween, but without the sort of, I guess, I get, you think supernatural side, but the first Halloween doesn't really have the supernatural side in it, apart from Michael Myers just getting up all the time. But it's missing some great characters as well, like Dr. Loomis is one of the best horror franchise characters, in my opinion, because he's great. He's just hilarious and fun. We do get Uncle Leo from Seinfeld in this one, but that's about it. That's about it. I like it. I'm not rushing to watch it all the time. So where should this go? I think that this goes... Maybe it's like a high C? That might change. That one might change. And speaking of TV movies, next up we have Elvis. Now, I'm a fan of Elvis's music. I'm not a huge fan. I don't go crazy for the guy. But I really like a lot of Elvis's music. And I've seen a few films about Elvis. A few biopics about Elvis. And honestly, this one is probably... one of, if not my favourite. Probably the best, in my opinion. I really like this adaptation of Elvis. The first time that Carpenter and Kurt Russell ever worked together, and there are points in this film where Kurt Russell is uncanny as Elvis. Not all the time. He is his own person, after all. But there are certain angles where he is uncanny, especially in that sort of like mid to late 20s Elvis. It's great. And because it's a TV movie, it's about 3 hours, so it really allows the story of Elvis to breathe. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this adaptation of Elvis's story, and I think John Carpenter did a great job with it. I hated the Baz Luhrmann one. I'm just going to throw that one out there for people. I couldn't stand it. It was just a frantic mess that doesn't really say much and just shoves visuals in your face. This one, it's slower, it's more TV movie, it takes its time, and yeah, Kurt Russell is a really, really good casting for Elvis, so big fan of this one. I'm going to pop it in front of Assault on Precinct 13, actually, because I do really like this adaptation of Elvis. Next up, we have The Fog. Oh, I like The Fog. The Fog is a good film. It's understated, I think might be a good way of putting it. It's quite a slow burner, really. It's creepy. It creeps like fog, I guess, is a great way to sort of sum it up. It's not his best film. I definitely don't think it's his best film, but it's more of a mood piece than anything. I've not seen it very much. I've seen it like once or twice, and it was a while ago, so I'm a little foggy on it, pardon the pun. But I really like this one. I'm going to put this as a high B for now, but it may move. It may move to an A, because I remember really liking it. I just have a fond memory of seeing it. I don't have much in the back of my head about like whether I loved it or anything. I just know that I did really like it. So I'm going to put it in B for now. Right, Escape from New York. This might be where I start getting controversial. I like Escape from New York. Kurt Russell, again, I think he's a great actor. I think that Carpenter can really direct Kurt Russell. Escape from New York is good in parts, but it is not my favourite. And I think a big part of this is because I watched it quite late on. out of all the Carpenter films, this is one of the later films of his that I actually sat and watched. So I don't have much love and nostalgia for it. I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan, and obviously a lot of Metal Gear Solid is inspired by Snake Plissken, the name and everything. I like this film, but I'm not in love with this film like a lot of people really are. I found it a little underwhelming when I watched it. I didn't hate it, and I quite enjoyed it, and it's a keeper. It's one that I bought on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I'm keeping this film because I do like it. It just wasn't... Maybe it was built up a little too much for me as well before watching it, because I know a lot of people had said how great this was, but maybe I just missed out on it. Also, I'm not the biggest action guy. I'm more of a horror guy, which you'll probably find with this list. I'm going to put it there. I think if I was to go downstairs and be like, I'm going to watch a Carpenter film, I think I'd watch The Fog over Escape from New York. And I've only seen each of these like once, and it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it. It's got a good cast. It's got a really good cast, in fact. There's some great moments in it. The set is amazing. Even like the faux 3D stuff at the beginning of the film is so impressive and cool. But yeah, it just didn't really stick with me as much as I hoped it would, I guess. Next up, The Thing. This is the least controversial opinion of the whole video. It's the best Carpenter film. Hands down, it is the best Carpenter film. It's suspenseful, it's gory, it's got fucked up monsters in it, it's just... Yeah, it's one of the few perfect horror films. It's always in the top list of horror films, and I can completely see why, because I really like it too. I think it's really good. Really, really good. And after The Thing, he followed it up with a Stephen King adaptation, Christine. And I really like Christine as well. And so something that I always sort of look for in horror, in films just in general, is a feeling, is a mood, is a vibe. And I always say that it's a Twin Peaks-like. Twin Peaks is, in my opinion, the greatest TV show ever made, and I grew up with that. And what Twin Peaks does is it captures a coziness, a nice, cozy environment, a little town with people who are familiar. Everyone's a bit of a character, everyone's fun to hang out with, but there's something going on underneath that's a little odd and a little strange, and I love that feel. And Carpenter has done that a few times. There are a few of his films that do capture that, and Christine is one of them. It isn't my all-time favourite Carpenter film, but I really, really enjoyed it. The effects of the car morphing, the car feels like a person throughout this. It feels like you can tell what the car's thinking, and it's a car. Like, the way that he shot the car, there's so many subtle little things in it. The way that the kids sort of morphs over time and becomes this, like, weird, obsessed thing. I really, really like Christine, and it is a strong A from me, I'd say. It's a strong A. And on the flip side of that, not meaning to jump the gun, but we have Starman. Another one I've only seen once. Jeff Bridges. I really, really like Jeff Bridges. I think Jeff Bridges is a great actor. This film, however, is... I get what it's doing, but I found it a little too schmaltzy and a little too obvious for its own good, and it just didn't really sit with me that well. I didn't hate it. I think it's a well put together thing. It has one of the most weird, fucked up body horror moments right at the beginning, and then it just sort of becomes a cliche, I guess. It's a little too cliche. Maybe I need to rewatch it. For now, it's going to sit as a low C, but maybe I just need to rewatch The Thing. It didn't work for me. I have a friend who was a bit not sure about it, and then he watched it again recently, and he really liked it. So maybe it just needs another watch. Maybe I was in the wrong frame of mind for it at the time, but it didn't work for me. Big Trouble in Little China's next. So we've moved from one of the best to one of the worst to one of the best. This has got to be an S. I love this film. And like I said earlier, I'm not really massive on action films, but this one just worked for me because it's an adventure as well as action. And you could say, I guess you could say Escape from New York's an adventure. But I wouldn't really class that as one of the main genres of it. Whereas Big Trouble in Little China, I would say, is a full-blown adventure film. It's weird. It's got that John Carpenter sort of like bitterness almost to it. The characters are great. The setting's great. The action's really fun. It's just a fun time. It's one of those films where you pop it on and you just smile from ear to ear while you're watching it. Really, really, really liked Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, one of my favourites. Gotta be one of my favourites. Next up, Prince of Darkness. I really like Prince of Darkness. This is another one that I really like. And I don't think it's perfect. I think that it suffers a little bit because of its own story. I think that it overcomplicates something that doesn't need to be that complicated. But what it does is it creates this bizarre atmosphere where you sort of get a little complacent almost with it. You're engaged, but a little like, all right, what we doing? And then it throws that VHS shot at you. And it's one of the scariest things in any of these films. I don't know what it is about it. It's sort of like analog horror before analog horror was a thing. And you've got what's he called, Donald Pleasance in this, and he's always a joy to watch. It's a really weird film, and I think that's what I really like about it, is that it's just trying to do something a little different. It falls into its camp every now and then, but it's dreamy and creepy, and yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. It's going in A for me. It's going in A. It's a good one. It is a good one. Right. We've got another controversial opinion coming up here. I'm not a big fan of They Live. I'm not. I'm just not a big fan of They Live. And I think I don't outright hate the film. Don't get me wrong. I think it's decent. I find it so dull. And it takes so long. And again, maybe I watched it too late, so maybe I missed it, and I must have seen a lot of things parody it and take it off. Even the line, I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of gum. I'd heard that growing up from Duke Nukem, so there wasn't much to it. It was like, oh, in my head I was always doing a Duke Nukem line, which is ridiculous, because this came way before Duke Nukem did. But this is it. It's been parodied. It's been done over and over again. It has one central theme. And I feel like it hammers it home so much. And it just doesn't do enough. Again, maybe I need to rewatch this thing. But it's going there. It's going there. And that is probably going to upset a lot of people. Because people love They Live. And you know, the whole obey and all that sort of stuff, the glasses. Rowdy Roddy Piper is fun in the film, he is, but I don't think he has enough moments to shine as being fun and witty. And then you could argue, well, that's not the film it's trying to be, but it's the film I wanted it to be. Yeah, that is going to be controversial, I'm very sure on that. But I'll tell you what's not going to be controversial, my opinion on Memoirs of the Invisible Man. This is not a good film. It's not a great film anyway. They try and have a bit of fun with the invisible, and I like that. That is good. But it's not a great film. It's what's his name in it? Why am I forgetting his name? Chevy Chase. It's Chevy Chase. And he's a bit small, mate. I'm not a big fan of Chevy Chase, if I'm completely honest. It's going in D. It's not the worst thing. I guess this is something that I'm going to say about these John Carpenter films that I'm ranking as well. I generally like most of these. I am using the S to D, I'm going to say, is for films that I really like to absolutely love, I'd say. And then F is for the ones that I outright hate. Memoirs of an Invisible Man, I don't really like. But yeah, the invisible stuff is fun. When he's smoking a cigarette and you see the smoke go into his invisible lungs and stuff like that, or having a drink. That's fun. It just didn't really work for me. I was half asleep throughout it, to be completely honest. Not great. Body bags, though. I do like body bags. So Body Bags is like an anthology film. It's John Carpenter and it's Tobe Hooper. John Carpenter acts in this one. He's sort of like the Crypt Keeper, but he's like a mortician, and he's telling these little stories. And yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So there are two shorts that are by John Carpenter, and they're both pretty fun. They're both pretty decent little shorts. And then the one from Tobe Hooper was pretty good as well. In fact, that was probably the standout for me. I like John Carpenter's stuff in this, but Tobe Hooper's one was really good, with Mark Hamill, really good. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun Halloween film, I'd say. I love anthologies though, because if you're not having a good time, then you can just, you just wait a bit and another film will come on shortly. I'm gonna pop it just below They Live, just so I don't piss everybody off in the world. Put that just behind They Live. What we got next? In the Mouth of Madness. I love this film. What I said about Christine applies here as well. There's a Twin Peaks-esqueness to it. And there's a bit of a Stephen King side to it. In fact, there's a few people from Twin Peaks in this, if I remember correctly. It's definitely got, what's her name in it? The old lady who plays Thomas Eckhart is in this, sorry. The cream corn lady. Mrs. Tremont from Twin Peaks is in this as well. And I really like it. It has, again, that small town feel, but something's a little off. It gets pretty weird. The bit with the thing on the bike is really freaky. I really like this film. I'm glad that Arrow are putting it out. I've already pre-ordered it. I can't wait to rewatch it, because I've only seen this film once and I really liked it. As main guy, what is his name again? I've forgotten his name. Sam Neill. Sam Neill's fantastic in it. He fits the character really well. Film's about writers and stuff. I really like that sort of thing. And yeah, it just sits well for me. I'm going to put it in A. It's very, very close to an S, though. But I think I'll put it comfortably in A. And going from one of my favourites of his to one of my least favourites of his, Village of the Damned. This is a remake of a classic film from the 40s, 50s? I can't quite remember. I don't think it's 30s. I don't think it's that early. I have seen both versions. I've seen the original one. The original one is excellent. This one, however, isn't. It's not a great film. It's just a little too silly. Again, it's just mediocre as well. It's just sort of like serviceable, There's nothing really to take away from this. There's nothing that really stands out for me. Flat acting, no one really brings it in this one. Story just sort of plods along and does its thing. And it's a shame because the original is really, really good. I am going to put this there at the moment. It's because this is the thing, it's watchable. A lot of people could easily sit down and watch Village of the Damned and think, this is fine. This is a bit of fun. But when you've got all this other stuff that Carpenter's made, it's just not one of his best. It really isn't. It really isn't. And speaking of controversial, or maybe not one of his best, Escape from LA. Now, I like Escape from LA. Sure, it's not as good as Escape from New York. It's not. But it is so fun and stupid. And I think that I think that should be something that's appreciated, honestly. It's so over the top. He surfs and he jump out of a plane and surf or something. He's surfing down a street and it's just so wacky and silly. It's kind of just treading the same ground, I think, is the main issue for it. It is just sort of a rehash of what we already had. But just, here's more. So it's funny because you could easily describe this as Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes is to Metal Gear Solid 1. in that it's the same game. It's a remake essentially, but it's just way more bombastic and over the top. It's fun, but it looks like a 90s film, and it very much is a 90s film. I don't hate it, but I do like. But it's not going to get a high rating from me. I'm going to put it there, I think. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to put it behind They Live, just so I don't annoy everybody. And speaking of like weird 90s John Carpenter films, we have got Vampires. This is one of his more recent films. Ed Woods, is it Ed Woods? Is that his name? James Woods, not Ed Woods. What am I on about? James Woods, a vampire hunter. Got Laura Palmer in this one, and she gets the shit beat out of her throughout this. My God, they beat her up. She's great in it though. Got Alec Baldwin in it as well. It's fun. It's fun. It's Carpenter sort of going, I'm going to do Dusk Till Dawn, really. It's that sort of thing. I like it. I think it's fun. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say on this, really. It's just, modern Carpenter just is lacking in a certain feel. I'm going to put it in C, that one. There's a certain vibe that his 80s and even his 70s films had that is sort of missing a little bit from his late 90s, 2000s films. And nothing says that more than the absolute travesty of a film that is Ghosts of Mars. I hate this film. Everybody hates this film. It is a bag of shit. It is painful to watch. I believe that this was meant to be another Escape From film. I think that it was meant to be another Escape From. I hate the characters. I hate the story. I hate how it looks. I hate everything about it. It is absolutely terrible. Nobody can act. Nobody delivers a line properly. It feels like a school play. And it's just shit. It is just awful. It's funny, I guess. As the 2000s reared their heads, a lot of like classic directors, well, quite a few classic directors sort of struggled with that sort of shift, I guess. They struggled with that booming technology. Like, oh, suddenly CG's more readily available. Cameras are moving to a more digital aesthetic. Things are changing. And a lot of classic directors, because Cronenberg kind of had a little dip, but luckily he picked himself back up. But Carpenter, he dipped. And he dipped so hard in 2001's Ghost of Mars. And I think it had a real troubled production as well. And, if it didn't, I'd be very surprised, because it feels like it should have. And we're going to end this one on a pretty mediocre one, just like John Carpenter did. Just sort of ending it on The Ward. Do I like The Ward? No. Do I hate it? No. Do I have an opinion on The Ward? No, not really. It's got a twist, but it's very obvious. There's tense bits. There's a few scares, but it's pretty stupid in parts as well and made me laugh. It's just a mixed bag of things. And again, it just feels like it's lacking any sort of focus, I guess. I think this is the only film that I've ever watched with Amber Heard in it as well. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything else. In fact, I didn't even realise she was in this, but she's the lead, which is ridiculous. Yeah, not terribly made, just sort of generic and a bit dumb. I'm putting it there. In fact, I'm not. I'm putting it there. Right, let's have a little jig about, because I think we can do a little bit better than this. So, I'm putting The Fog in A, and I'm putting that one in B. I am indeed. And I think that is my list. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that as my list, I think. Yeah. I'd be very interested to see what you guys think to John Carpenter's works, how you'd rank his films. I'm sure some of these are going to be very controversial for some of you, but just bear in mind that it is just my opinion. And sometimes I'll watch a film and be in a shit mood and not like it, and sometimes I'll watch a film in a really good mood and like it, and it just sort of goes against everybody else's opinions. Because that's the thing with film, it's very subjective in that way, isn't it? So yeah, Let me know if you enjoyed this format again and if you'd like to see more of these, because I'm happy to do more. It is fun just chit-chatting with you all about directors that I quite like. I also want to quickly reiterate as well, S to D, I like pretty much all those films. I'd definitely say S to C, I would like them and I would happily rewatch them. D, you'd have to catch me in the right frame of mind. And F, ugh, no, I'm not bothering with F again. It'll be a weird day if you catch me watching Ghosts on Mars again. So I think I'll end it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.